Greetings, my name is Steve Reed. I'm with Stephen Reed Coaching and Stephen Reed Ministries. I am delighted that you are going to spend a few minutes with me today. I've got some information that I believe could literally change the trajectory of your business. Now, if you're in the direct sales business, network marketing, or multi-level marketing, this is extremely pertinent to you, and it could revolutionize the way you work with your people. Let me give you just a real quick snapshot of my background. My undergraduate degree was in psychology. In the late 80s, early 90s, I started understanding more and learning more about the different personality temperaments that exist. And I started by learning about the Greek temperaments, the cholerics, sanguines, phlegmatics, and melancholies. And in 92, 93, somewhere in that time frame, I started learning about DISC. And that's what I want to share with you today. We're going to take a little bit of a deep dive, not hugely, but a little bit of a deep dive to help you understand how you can implement some of these techniques and some of these principles to help improve your business in virtually every aspect. So here we go. So I'm going to ask you a few questions along the way. And the first question that I've got to ask you is, have you been frustrated with attendance at your events? Have you ever felt like people kind of tuned you out? Have you ever felt like people didn't understand you? Or maybe you didn't understand other people. Maybe you felt like your message just was not resonating with people. Maybe you want to bring on more recruits, more prospects, more customers, more partners or affiliates, whatever your company calls them. But you're frustrated because you can't seem to be making the inroads in getting that done. Well, I've got some hope for you as we continue going through this. The foundation of what we are talking about is building your organization bigger and better by utilizing proven principles from DISC. Now, if you have not gone through a DISC profile assessment before, I highly encourage you to do exactly that. If you need some help with that, I'm happy to visit with you on some different ways that you can do that. And I'm going to teach you some ways that you can communicate better and understand your people better, your prospects and your customers. I'm going to teach you some ways that you can communicate with them better. So I'm going to break it down into three different segments. Number one is the foundation of what each of the four temperaments are. And then we're going to talk about how to communicate, but then we're going to wrap things up by how to incorporate DISC as you're engaging with your people within your organization. Now, understand, this information is relevant whether it's in your business life or in your personal life as well. So one of the first questions that I ask is, who are you? Are you outgoing and extroverted, or are you introverted and reserved? Are you focused on people, or are you focused on tasks? And it's critical to understand these four questions. And this is the foundation of everything that we're going to be talking about for the next few minutes. But it's not just about who you are, it's about the people with whom you are engaging. So I ask the exact same questions. Are you talking to somebody that is outgoing and extroverted, or are they introverted and reserved? Are they focused on people, or are they focused on tasks? So think about that as you're considering the people that you are currently working with, but also those people in the future that you will be engaging with as you are building your organization. Let's continue on as we go through this simple little fundamental training. So why is this information relevant to you? Well, I'm going to touch on several different aspects of why it is important to you. Number one, you're going to understand yourself better. You're going to understand others better. You'll improve relationships, not only with your business people, but also with your family and your spouse. You're going to improve your communication skills. And again, understanding the members or the customers, the prospects, the associates that you have within your organization. These critical components are going to help you in so many different ways. In addition to that, you're going to get more sales. They're going to be coming in. You're going to sponsor more people. The onboarding process of getting them started is going to go faster. It's going to shorten the process that you have of actually recruiting people. You're going to make more money. I know most of us are in this to make money. You're going to have more confidence and you're going to have more fun. I promise you will have more fun in the process of all of this. DISC principles, when they are implemented properly, have been shown to help people improve their businesses and their business lives. Again, you're going to have more confidence. You're going to have better focus as you're working with people. You'll have better communication skills. I've been teaching communication skills since the early 90s as well. And you're going to have a better understanding. Why did they do that? Why did she do that? Why did he do, etc.? You're going to have a better understanding of the people that you're working with. So I go back to that earlier question. Who are you? Are you extroverted or are you introverted? Are you focused on people or are you focused on tasks? Let's go through each of the 4 temperaments and we'll uncover some of the character traits of each of these temperaments. But before we do, I got to give you some fundamental, some foundational information about DISC and all of the personality temperaments. However you look at the temperaments, I'm not talking about other programs. I'm just talking about DISC, okay? You'll notice there is a dividing line, both vertical as well as horizontal. Everything above the horizontal line is typically extroverted in nature. They're typically outgoing people. The people that are below that center line are typically introverted or reserved people. That vertical line separates the people that are focused on tasks and the people that are focused on people. Now, understand there is no such thing as a person that is just one temperament. It does not exist. We are a blend of all of them. And you can go from temperament to temperament. And sometimes with enough skill, enough training, enough experience, you can learn how to turn each of the temperaments on at will. But that takes a lot of experience and a lot of practice and a lot of experience and knowledge on how to do that. So let's go through each of the 4 temperaments as we're moving forward. First of all, we're going to talk about the D temperament. And understand every temperament has a strength, but that strength taken to an extreme can become a weakness. The Ds are typically drivers and doers. They're dynamic, they are demanding, they are determined, and they are dogmatic. But sometimes when they are out of control or they let these strengths go too far, they can really be obnoxious. They can push people too far and push people away. So be very careful, be very sensitive to that you're not overbearing with people if your dominant temperament is as a high D. Let's keep moving. We're going to talk about the I for a moment. The I is inspirational. They're influencers. They're inducing. They're impressive. And they're interesting. They're great storytellers. Both of these, the D's and the I's, are above that horizontal line, which means they are extroverted. They are outgoing people. The I personality is focused more on the people, where the D personality is more focused on the tasks that need to get done quickly. And they don't necessarily concern themselves as much about accuracy. But we'll talk about that in a moment. But the I temperament, sometimes they're so focused on people and fun that sometimes they lose track of the tasks that need to get done. And there are some other challenges with both the D's and the I's. And we'll talk about some of those other challenges in a minute. But understand, the I's, you want to have the I's in your life because they are fun people, and we've got to have fun people all around us. The S personality type, along with the C, they are below that horizontal line, which means they are reserved in their nature. By design, they are reserved or introverted. The S is steady and stable. They're going to be focused on supporting other people. They are great servants. They are sweet, and they are oftentimes very submissive. But if you don't show some appreciation to the S personality type, that S personality type can become very stubborn. They may come back and say, you know what, you haven't said thank you one time to me, so I'm going to take my ball and I'm going to go play someplace else where they do actually appreciate the things that I do. So be very careful to say thank you to that S personality type. Let's keep moving. We're going to talk about the C personality type. The C personality type is competent, cautious, careful, calculating, and compliant. They're the ones that dot all the I's and cross all the T's. They're the ones that follow the rules. We've got to have the compliant people in our organization to keep us in check and to make sure that we're not out there making wild and crazy claims, as some people tend to do. Again, the C and the S are both introverted or reserved. The C, like the D, is very task-oriented, and they're all about getting things done accurately. I will tell you, you would be much better off if you had a high C personality that was your dentist than a high I personality. The I is more concerned about fun. The C is more concerned about accuracy and being correct in the things that they are doing. So let's look at these four temperaments from a little bit different perspective as we go forward. But first, let's ask the question of ourselves again. Who am I? But then as we're going through this, think about the people with whom you are engaging. Who are your leaders? Who are the most recent people that you have brought into your company and your customers or your clients? Who are they, and how can you better communicate with them? So how do we interact with other people? Got a great illustration. I think this will make a lot of sense to you as you're thinking about those people in your sphere of influence right now. Let's think about each of the personality temperaments as if they were addressing or looking at a bullseye or a target. You'll notice that we have a quadrant or four quadrants in here. It's just like the DISC model, D-I-S-C, okay? The D's in the top left-hand corner. When they are looking at a target, at a bullseye, they will most likely look at that bullseye and say, ready, fire, aim. Sometimes they start talking and they start doing before they've considered all of the ramifications of doing things incorrectly. Sometimes they just simply don't care about accuracy. They just need to get it done. So that's the D personality. I'll come back to the I in a minute. Let's look at the S personality. Remember, they are reserved and they're focused on people. So they're going to look at that same bullseye and they're going to say, ready, 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 ready. See, they're so focused on people and they don't care about themselves and actually pulling the trigger for themselves. They're going to be more focused on pulling the trigger for other people. And sometimes you need to nudge them along a little bit. Then we've got the C personality. Remember, they're below the line and they're task-oriented. They're introverted and task-oriented, which means they want to do things precisely all the time. They're going to look at that same bullseye, that same target, and they're going to say, ready, aim, 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 aim. It's kind of like the carpenter's motto. They're going to say, measure twice and cut once. So think about that. Sometimes you need to stop measuring. You need to pull the trigger before the target moves and is out of that bullseye range. Now let's talk about the I personality type. Remember, the I personality type is all about having fun. They want to have fun as much as they possibly can. So that I personality type is going to look at that same target and they're going to say, ready, aim. Joe, hey, how in the world are you doing? Oh my gosh, I haven't seen you in forever. What's it been? 3 weeks, 4 weeks? I don't know what it is. Remember, we went out to get pizza after that boring meeting. That meeting was so boring. I cannot believe that. There's Betty. Hey, Betty, Betty, come over here. Hey, look who's. Oh, Betty. Hey, Betty, how are the kids doing? See, the problem with the high I personality type is sometimes they get distracted by other things and shiny objects. Sometimes they get to be kind of like that squirrel is jumping from limb to limb in the trees outside or scurrying across that phone line. So we've got to remember that the eyes, they need to get reined in a little bit and stay focused on getting the tasks done. Yes, have some fun, but you've got to get the tasks done as well. That is critical. All right, so let's look at the another diagram here and how each of the four temperaments are going to look at people and their situations and where they are. The D is going to be out in front. They're the leaders, they're in charge, they're taking command of everything that's going on. They're directing and guiding everybody to do what needs to be done. They're in charge, okay? Then you've got the I, they're in the center of things, they're in the middle, they've got their hands, their tentacles in everything that's going on because they have to inspire everybody else to get the things done that they feel need to be done. The S personality type, they're behind everybody. They're there supporting, encouraging, engaging with people in their own way. They're going to be serving to make sure everybody is taken care of. Then you've got the C personality. They're on the sideline. They're checking, make sure that everything is the way it needs to be. They're very cautious. They're very careful. So they're going to evaluate everything before they jump in the middle of everything that's going on. So that's how each of the four temperaments is going to be looking at things. Whoopsie, we went the wrong way. All right, let's keep going. And this will give you an idea on how each of the four temperaments can work together. So if you're a D and you're talking to an I, remember Ds are in charge. Sometimes they can be dogmatic. Sometimes they can be a little bit abrupt and harsh in dealing with other people. An I temperament will not like that because they're going to say, where's the fun? You're just all about getting things done. I want to have some fun. Now, if the I is in charge, so to speak, the D is going to get frustrated because the I is having so much fun, they're not getting things done. So make sure you're understanding and you're on the same page. Yes, designate some time for fun, but make sure you get the tasks taken care of. Let's continue on. The D's and the C's. The D's are the leaders. They're in charge. They're controlling things. The S's are there to support any way they possibly can. Remember, they can be very sensitive also. So if the D does not say thank you to that S temperament, well, that S may again become very stubborn and just decide, I'm done. I'm not playing in your world anymore. You're rude. You're obnoxious. You are too dogmatic. I'm moving on. And they pick up their toys and they leave. Well, the easiest way to make sure that an S stays in the game, make sure that you say thank you. Make sure you show appreciation to the S for all the things that they are doing. The next one, the next scenario is the D and the C. As they are communicating, remember the D is in charge. Even though the C may be actually in charge, the D wants to think that they are in charge. The C demands accuracy and makes sure that everything is correct. They dot the I's, they cross the T's. They're going to make sure that everybody stays in compliance with all the things that are going on. The D's oftentimes don't care about compliance. They'll figure things out later on. The C's are going to help keep them in check as much as they possibly can. So if the C is in charge, if the C is the actual leader, make sure you give things to the D so that they feel like they are in charge. That is critical in making sure that they all stay engaged. Here's another scenario, the C's and the S's. Keep in mind, they're both reserved. The C is focused on tasks. The S is focused on people. So the S wants to make everybody feel good, but the C can sometimes get frustrated because you're so focused on making people feel good. We're not getting anything done. We've got to check the boxes off. You did, I'm sorry, but you didn't dot all the I's and cross all the T's. We've got to get those things done. That can be a very big frustration for both parties. Then we have the C's and the I's. The C's, again, accuracy, tasks, getting things done, they're reserved. The I's are all about having fun. The I's don't necessarily consider the detail of things that need to be done. And as a result, the C's can be very frustrated. The I's can be frustrated with the C's also because the I just wants to have fun and the C is taking so much time dealing with stupid tasks. Come on, there's a party down the street somewhere. I don't know where it is, but we'll find it. If we can't find it, I'll start a party. You gotta chill. You gotta relax a little bit. That can be very, very frustrating in those scenarios. So be very careful. You understand how you're dealing with each of the people. Now, there are specific ways that D's talk with D's and I's talk with I's and S's talk with S's and C's talk with C's. You've got to make sure that you're working with people in their personality temperament in all scenarios. The I's and the S's, when they're working together, remember, they're both focused on people. The I's want to have fun. The S's just want to support the I's in any way they possibly can, which can be very dangerous because the S's, since they are very submissive, oftentimes the I's can talk them into doing things that the S's will later regret doing because they were just trying to please that other person and they found themselves in trouble, maybe not in trouble, but just making bad mistakes or poor judgment. When you go through a DISC analysis or DISC assessment test, you're going to get a report that's going to look something like this. It's going to tell who you really are, but it's going to tell you how the world sees you and then where you fit on that circular graph. So consider that. Again, if you have not done a DISC assessment for yourself, there are a lot of different places where you can get them. There are even some places that you get some free assessments. They're very watered down, but I've got some other assessments that we can go through that give you a lot more detail. So as we're looking at some of the different words that people need to consider as they're looking at the different temperaments, consider these descriptive words for each of the personality types. You're going to look at the D's, and the D's are going to be the people that they are focused on results. They've got to get things done. They're looking for opportunities. They're looking for solutions, goals, plans. What are the best uses of their time? Their leadership role. They've got to be in charge. Their authority. They want to make sure that they have a bold nature that is being expressed as much as possible. It's bottom line for them. They are taking ownership of everything, and they want to do things efficiently. Then we look at the I personality type. The I is all about fun, enjoyment, recognition. You give them a gold star for doing anything, I'm telling you, you can get them to do anything and keep coming back. Give them a gold star or a smiley face. They're big dreamers. They love people, wonderful lifestyles. They have plenty of energy and enthusiasm. They have an outgoing nature. They just love being around other people. They have high expectations. They are generally great storytellers. Sometimes they tell the story about the fish that got away, and they are focused on success. Then let's talk about the S personality. They are very supportive. They're reliable. They are team players. They're focused on serving others. They want peace in every scenario. They want everybody to be part of the big family. They are very steady in the things that they are doing. It's all about relationships for them. Cooperation by nature is who they are. Can't we all just get along and put our differences aside? They want understanding, they need security, and they thrive in friendships. And finally, we look at the C personality type. They are focused on quality, value, logic, principles, honesty, integrity. Those are critical things for them. Consistency, validation. Yes, you are correct. You are right. You're right again. I can't believe how many times you've gotten things spot on. Again, validation. They want a very inquisitive nature, or they have a very inquisitive nature. They are very focused on the details. They're a very loyal people, and they demand accuracy in the things that they are doing. Let's continue on as we're talking about the different temperaments and some of the downsides, some of the weaknesses. Remember, I told you we all have strengths, but we have weaknesses as well. A D is very dominant. They have to be careful that they are not too pushy. Sometimes they just need to tone it down a little bit. Sometimes you have to give people time to process and think things through. And again, sometimes you need to just soften the tones a little bit. The I, because they are oftentimes very inspiring, sometimes they're a little bit disorganized and they need to work on their organizational skills. They need to stay focused and they need to stay credible. Remember that fish, the giant fish that got away. The S personality is very supportive, but you got to remember, taken to an extreme, they can lack confidence. Be bold and more confident in who you are and your skill set. Remember that there are challenges, and challenges are okay. Don't worry about the challenges so much. And whatever you do not get saddled with too much fear. Fear is false evidence appearing real. Don't worry about it. There's bound to be somebody else that can help you get through things and get past if there happens to be a mistake that's made. Just charge forward. And then finally, the C personality. Don't overdo it with details. That can be very, very hazardous to you and your relationships with other people. If you give people too much detail, if you give an I too much detail, I promise that I is going to walk away from you. They're going to tune you out. Remember that there are people involved in this. It's not just about the tasks. And finally, learn to smile more and lighten up a little bit. These are some of the critical components that we've got to remember as you're working with people in your organization. Now, I've got a sad story to tell. It's actually it's a Steve story. Okay. Now, my dominant personality temperament is high C. That's my dominance. I also have a lot of S. I love helping people. I love serving. Well, many years ago, I was a worship leader in a large church in North Dallas. And we had 2 services every Sunday. And frequently, we would have a task that needed to be done in between the services. Keep in mind, large church. And this one particular Sunday, I had to get something done, but I had to get back up on stage within 15 minutes. And with it, because it was a large service, or a large church, should I say, I had to go down these hallways, crowded hallways in between the services, to get to my destination, get my task done, and get back on stage in a timely manner. Well, I managed to get the task done and I'm back on stage. And one of the other guys that was on the team with me, he approached me before we started singing. He said, "Steve, do you have a couple minutes after the service?" I said, "Yeah, what's going on?" He said, "I just want to run something by you." Said, "Okay, fine, no problem." We went through the music set. We're done. We're now backstage in the green room. And he comes up to me and said, "Hey, what's going on?" And he says, "Well, I got to ask you." I said, "Okay, ask away." He says, "Are we friends?" Now, I got to tell you, it's never a good way to start a conversation. Are we friends? Well, yeah, I like to think we're friends. And he says, "Well, I got to tell you, based on what I observed earlier, you are the most rude, condescending, cocky, and arrogant person I know." And with that, I just took a step back. So, what in the world are you talking about? He says, "I watched you as you were heading in between services to get whatever that thing was that you had to get done." And he says, "There must have been 50, maybe 75 people that greeted you this morning and said, 'Good morning, Steve. Hey, great service. Hey, Steve. Hey, how are you doing?' And you ignored every single one of those people. You didn't even say good morning. You didn't say hello. You didn't say hi. You didn't say anything to anybody. You could have just stopped and for just a brief moment said, 'Hey, listen, I'm in a hurry. I've got to get this done. I got to get it ready for the next service. Let's catch up later. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thanks for being here.'" And I lost track of the fact that I was there to serve people, serve God, but serve people. It wasn't about the tasks that I had to get done. And I totally blew it. And that caused me to step back and evaluate what I was doing in my engagement with other people. Do I still do that from time to time? Yes, unfortunately. I try and catch myself a lot faster. So think about the different strengths and the weaknesses for each of these different personality temperaments. And remember, when you take a temperament strength to an extreme, it becomes a weakness. In this particular scenario, I was getting a task done, but I forgot about people. That is critical. As you're working with your organization and with your family and you're engaging with coworkers, make sure that you engage with them the way they need so that you can develop solid relationships. Now, I just gave you one real life scenario. I mean, that's real life. Let's talk about how we can engage with people in our business world and how you can continue to grow your organization and make it bigger and bigger every single day. And number one is as you are recruiting associates, brand partners, distributors, whatever you call them, whatever your company calls them, they're all the same thing. Okay. Here's how you deal with each of the four temperaments. When you're talking to a D, you know what? We've got so many leaders in this organization. We need more leaders like you because I know you can get the job done. The I got to tell you, we are having so much fun in this company, and you would bring so much of a fun nature to everybody else. You know what? Frankly, there are some people that they're kind of a stick in the mud. We need your energy and your liveliness to help everybody grow. Then, when you're talking to that S personality, you know what? Sometimes I am overwhelmed with the things that I need to get done, and I really need some more support and some people that can help me with different things. But you know what? Here's the number one thing I'm looking for. I'm looking for this to be one big family. Man, it's all a team, and I really need you on the team. And then you've got the high C personality type. You know what? I'm going to give you so much detail. There's so much scientific background behind the things that we are doing. You are going to love all of the detail that this company is going to offer to you. So that's how you recruit more people. If you implement these techniques, your business will grow. Now, here's the most important thing with each of these. Do not use these to manipulate people. Don't just give people a lot of fluff just because you're trying to recruit them and you know their temperament. Be sincere with the things that you are sharing with people. Continuing on, well, we're going the wrong way again. Here we go. All right. So let's go on to bringing on new customers or clients. The same thing is true. I'm going to give you all the detail that you need as a leader to make sure that this is going to serve your needs. This company is so much fun. We're going to have so much fun together with you as one of my customers. I just love having you around. Then we're talking about the S personality type. You know what? It would be a huge support for me to have you on my customer team. I would really appreciate that. I want you to be part of my family with this aspect as well. And then the C, I'm going to give you so much detail that you need in order to make a quality decision. We're going to help you dot all the I's and cross all of the T's as we go forward together. Then the last area of communication, as we're talking with now this is specifically for the people that are actually in your business, not the customers, but the people that are in your business. And you want to invite them to an event of some sort. Maybe it's a national convention or a regional type of a recruiting meeting. Maybe it's a local meeting that you're having, a conference call, whatever the case is. Here's how you invite those people. The D's, let's say it's a big convention that's coming up, the D's, you're going to want to tell them All of the leaders are going to be there. And I know you are going to want to rub elbows with those other leaders. And I make sure that I can connect you with some of the other leaders in the organization. In fact, you are so good, I can see you outshining all of the leaders that are up there on that stage. You definitely do not want to miss this event. The eyes, oh man, it is so much fun. That convention we had last time, it was incredibly fun. In fact, there was so many people every time the speaker left the stage. There are people up on the chairs dancing. Hugs and oh, it is so much fun. The music, the fun, the dancing, it's just great. Okay. Then the S personality, you know what? I really need you there. As part of the team, I'm going to need your support in some of the things that are being done. So if you could possibly please be there, that would mean so much to me. I want you to be part of the family and meet the rest of the family that's there together. And then finally, the C temperament. You know what? All of the detail, the facts are going to be spelled out on stage. I promise you will learn all of the step-by-step process and how you can build a large organization and continue to serve other people and help other people get the facts that they need as well. You do not want to miss this. It is going to be amazing. You're probably going to need 4 or 5 notebooks to take all the notes because you're going to have so much detail that's in front of you. So think about that as you are inviting people to the different events that you have, whether it's a local event, an online event, or a big national convention. Think about how you are inviting. Don't just announce that there's a meeting. Invite people based on their temperament. And if you're sending out an email to invite people or posting something on social media, whatever the case is to your organization, make sure that you touch on each of the 4 temperaments in that documentation or that announcement as well. If you don't, then you're going to miss some people. If you don't talk about the family aspect of things, the high C's or the high S's may not come. If you don't talk about the leadership, the high D's may not come. I don't need to waste my time with that. And I got things to do. That's just going to slow me down. The I's, if you don't talk about the fun, well, they're going to find a party someplace else. So make sure that you're addressing each of the temperaments the right way as you're going forward. When you do these things, fundamental things, when you do this and you understand your temperament and the temperament of the people that you're engaging with on a day-to-day basis, you will increase your organization and continue to make it grow on a day-to-day basis. But there are 3 things that you must remember as we are working with people. Number 1 is what's in it for them. It can't be all about you. What's in it for you? How can I serve you? How can we get you the information you need? What do you need in order to grow and have a big organization? I'm there to help you. Number 2 is what do they want? What is their why? What's the big why? What's driving them to want to get up in the morning and do the work that's necessary? To make the phone calls, go to the events, go to the meetings, etc. What is it they want? What's the end result? And then think also about the big picture, the big whys that they are looking for. Is it recognition on stage? Is it going on the corporate sponsored trips, winning the awards, the rank advancement, whatever the case is? What is their big dream? Is it a new house? Is it more travel? Is it time with people, with friends, etc.? So make sure that you are tapping into their why on a day-to-day basis. And when you remember their why, they will always be engaged on a day-to-day basis. If you've got questions, feel free to reach out. I'm happy to visit with you. And here's all my contact information. Take a screenshot, write it down quickly. I'll keep it on the screen for a moment. But feel free to text me. Feel free to send me an email. My email address is simple. It's info@StephenReedMinistries.com, which is the parent for Stephen Reed Coaching. You can see my web addresses there, StephenReedMinistries.com. I've got my coaching site as well as a scheduling site. In fact, if you're up on technology, you can even scan my QR code. That takes you directly to my scheduling calendar. Let's schedule a complimentary 30-minute session. And let's see if we can help you understand a little bit more about your temperament. But if you need more, then we can schedule more so that you understand and how you can implement these techniques in ways that will help to grow and build your organization. So it's not a flash in the pan, it's a long-term endeavor. And let's face it, isn't that what we all want? When we bring somebody into the business, we want to develop that family that's a long-term family, that we're always going to be there together, growing together. Well, this is Steve Reed with Stephen Reed Coaching, Stephen Reed Ministries. It is an absolute delight to be with you today. I hope this has been beneficial to you. I hope you've taken some notes. If you need some more information, feel free to reach out in one of those different methods that I shared with you a minute ago. I hope you have a blessed day today. Goodbye for now.